Hey everybody, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be feeling a lot like Graham Stephan because I will be walking you through what I spent during the month of July. This is a video that I see quite often all throughout YouTube. You see it for people who are millionaires making tons of money. You see it for people who aren't millionaires and are living on more of a budget. I'm somewhere in between. I certainly do have a lot of disposable income just because of my finance internship and my YouTube and other creator influencer revenue that I have coming in. So because of this, I kind of find myself in a unique situation. Also, I'm currently living at home. It is the summer, so I'm not up at school at UF. So I've been home in Naples, Florida for the last couple of months. I am so grateful to my family to allow me to live at home without paying rent, utilities, things like that. It certainly is a huge factor into why I'm able to be in the current financial situation that I'm in. I've always enjoyed watching these videos just to see what other people spend. I myself consider myself pretty cheap. I don't think I really spend too much money. I don't have a lot of frivolous things that I spend money on. I think that will be made pretty clear here today. You'll see there's just a few things that I really spend my money on, and other than that, I save or invest it all. My spending certainly is a little bit different when I'm up at school at UF, and I'm sure it'll be a little bit different in a year once I'm out of school and I have a full-time job and living on my own. So because of this, I just kind of wanted to document where I currently am, show you guys how much I spend per month, just in case you happen to be interested. And with all of this being said, let's jump into the video. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, I need to mention that no, I don't have any crazy high-tech budgets or anything like that, or even just a percentage of my income that I decide to spend. I think this probably would be a good idea. I certainly have tried to become a little bit more social, be more willing to spend money if the opportunity presents itself. And I think setting a budget for a certain percentage of my income that I'm allowed to spend each month on certain activities would be pretty beneficial to me. I do understand there's a ton of benefits to setting a budget and things like that, but I think for my own personal needs at this point, it's not really necessary. And I really don't want anything kind of restricting the way I live my life or adding any additional stress to my life. I think certainly in the future, it will be very wise for me to set a budget once I'm out of school and I have a full-time job and I'm most likely making a lot more money. But I think for the time being, I'm in a pretty good spot where I am. And like I said earlier, I do think I do a really good job saving, investing a lot of money. I definitely have the long-term outlook when it comes to my finances, but I'm really just excited to make this video, walk you guys through what I spend in a month. So let's get into it. So I have Mint pulled up on my Dell laptop here. And if you're not aware, Mint is extremely helpful. I've just used them for the last few years and I find them extremely helpful with kind of tracking all my finances, my spending, my net worth, my investments, everything that has to do with personal finance. Mint has it covered. So that's what I'm using today, just to kind of track all the different transactions on my various credit cards. I'm also going to be talking about my investments just because I guess that is spending, and that is definitely the main thing I spend money on. So I feel like I have to include it in this, otherwise it'll be a pretty quick video. So because of that, I will have two different sums going in this video. I'll have normal spending and then I'll have investments. And then at the end, we can see the totals for each and see how it ends up for the month. So the first transaction of the month comes on July 2nd, and this was an investment. On this date, I ended up spending $414 on some stock purchases. Based on the time that I get paid for all my different ventures, I must have just been holding on to some cash and determined that this was a good time to buy. So this was the first thing I bought, $414 of stocks. Wait, before I move on, I just need to plug the Dell XPS laptop that I'm working on for this whole video. As you guys know, I've made a lot of videos with the Dell laptop these last few months. In all of these videos, I definitely talk about the benefits of it for school, but in addition to school and productivity, it's also an awesome laptop for being a creator. As you guys know, I clearly have a YouTube channel, so there's a lot that goes into all the behind the scenes for these videos. The Dell XPS 15 laptop does a great job of handling all the demands of being a part-time YouTube creator. The laptop I have has an Intel Core i7 processor, which allows it to process some of those pretty big files and videos that I have to edit. Also, the screen is very large, which makes it super easy to edit it if I'm just working on my laptop. Then, of course, you guys also know I have these monitors as well, which is always a big help when editing some videos. With that being said, click the link in the description to find out more about the Dell suite of products, and let's get back to the video. So moving forward, I didn't spend any more money until July 5th. I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I spent a whopping $2.14. I think I definitely took advantage of their current deal where they have a $2 medium iced coffee available, so that must have been what I did then. And I think this will kind of be a common theme you'll see. I definitely enjoy coffee. All right, next up, we are now on July 6th, and I spent $20.22 at Hamilton Harbor Yacht Club. Now, I know that sounds pretty presumptuous, but I ended up buying a hat from the yacht club. A good friend of mine, he stores his boat there, so we were all there for the day enjoying the beautiful weather here in Naples, Florida, and I definitely decided to purchase a hat from Hamilton Harbor. I remember going in the gift store and seeing that it was $20 and thinking that was a pretty good deal. And of course, playing golf, you always have to have a fresh hat, so I definitely think this was a smart purchase. So the next day, July 7th, I ordered something from Amazon and it was $32.19. Now, of course, I remember what it is, and that was a crate of protein. This is one of those constant expenses that I kind of have each month. I buy, a 3-pound jar of protein. This usually lasts me for about a month and a half, and it always costs around $32. I always just get the cheapest option on Amazon, and that's what I did this day on July 7th. Also on July 7th, I spent $1.92 at McDonald's. This was a day that I drove my brother to the airport, and again, I stopped and got a coffee at McDonald's, $1.92. Slightly cheaper than Dunkin' Donuts, but I can vouch their coffee is not as good. Next up, on July 9th, I have an $8.56 expense at Hibachi of Japan. If you're from Naples, you know this is one of the best spots and used to be one of the most affordable spots to go in Naples for some awesome, great food. As you can kind of tell, I spend the majority of my money on food and eating out, but that's really just because it is kind of a social time for me. This is when I might meet up with some friends, get coffee, go to a restaurant, things like that. It's not just me getting takeout. There's usually experiences and friendships involved with this money, and because of that, I feel that it's fully worth it. Now, to keep it moving forward, onto July 12th, I had another big stock purchase. On this date, I spent $1,585 on various investments, so that's definitely a pretty big expense. I think at this point I must have just gotten paid, so I definitely had some cash to spend and felt it was a good time to invest. So again, on July 12th, I went to Cici's Pizza and spent $7.48. $7 at Cici's Pizza, all you can eat buffet, definitely worth it. In addition to that, I also went to Yard House that night with some friends. I spent $32 there, so I definitely got a couple half yards there. Definitely, more expensive, but I think because I just gotten that paycheck, I was more than willing to spend a little bit extra money for those drinks if it meant spending some good time with some friends. Now it's July 13th, we're almost halfway done with the month. I spent $20 at Great Clips just to get a haircut. My hair was probably getting pretty long, and my mom felt it was time for me to get a haircut, so spent $20 there. Now skip forward another 6 days, and I have an expense at Walmart for $16. Now, if I remember correctly, that was a case of Truly seltzers. I remember I had a couple people over at my house that night, and I definitely wanted to stock up, so that was what that purchase was there. The next day, I have an expense for $37.45 at Hibiscus Golf Club, which is a golf course here in Naples. This is definitely one of the biggest things I spend money on. I spent a lot of money going golfing with my friends. Here in Naples, there's so many golf courses, but they're also pretty expensive. So they do add up, but I think it's definitely worth it. I enjoy going golfing, and with my current income level, it's definitely worth it. And I kind of see it as an investment in my future because I see golf being one of those things I do and enjoy for the next 50, 60 years. Also on July 19th, I spent $17 at Target. I do remember this was also to buy a case of High Noons. High Noons are notoriously expensive, and this exemplifies that. On July 20th, I spent another $4 at McDonald's and $6 at Dunkin' Donuts. So as I remember, I was just with my friends that day, and we clearly didn't want to spend too much money on food, so Dunkin' and McDonald's was a pretty good choice. So to keep it moving forward, it's now July 22nd and I have my last stock purchase of the month. On this date, I spent $1,160 again on various stocks for my portfolio. So definitely still a big expense, but not as quite as big of an investment as the previous stock purchase. Then again, on July 24th, I have an expense from Amazon for another $33. So I think that was another case of protein, even though I think I just purchased one a few weeks prior. Now we're almost getting done. July 26th at Chili's, I spent $12. Chili's is another favorite restaurant for my friends and I. They have some pretty good deals. $12 definitely gets you a lot of food. So that was that expense there. Then again, are you seeing a reoccurring theme? I spent some money at Dunkin' Donuts, $3.09. I think this was for a large coffee. So I was really splurging then. And then another night out for dinner at Hibachi of Japan for $11. I think I must have gotten a large chicken bowl that day. Now, finally, the last expense of the month, July 29th, I have an expense for $108 to Wix.com. I have been interested in starting a website for myself just to kind of document some of the things that I'm doing. I, of course, was looking into it, doing a lot of different research on the different providers of the website services. And for whatever reason, Wix just happened to send me an email saying everything was 50% off for 24 hours or whatever. So of course I had to take advantage of that deal, even though it's probably just good marketing on their part. But the $108 was a full year of access to a website and a domain. So it's definitely money well spent. And of course, this also is a business expense that I can write off at the end of the year whenever I do my taxes. So those were all my expenses for the month of July. As you can see, the majority of my spending goes to investments, and then I spend a little bit of money here and there on coffees and eating out with my friends. So you can see the totals on the screen here for investments, and then now for total expenses. I don't currently know what the number is. I'm gonna do that calculation in post. Yep, here I am sounding like I'm a big deal in show business. Those were the numbers. What do you guys think? Do you spend more money or less money than me? This is by no means me trying to flex or anything like that. I just thought it would be a pretty interesting video for myself to kind of document what I'm spending money on at this current point in my life. I'm sure it'll be very interesting to see how this kind of changes in the next year as I start moving out on my own and having a full-time job. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite thing is to spend money on. The link to the Dell website to get your own Dell XPS laptop will be in the description as well. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.